Hi everyone, welcome back. So in this video, you're going to find the value that allow us to have a perfect square trinomial. So you can write it as a perfect square, okay? So how do we find this number, the third number, the constant to add to x squared minus 8x in order to have a perfect square? Okay, how do we do this? So there is a rule. Okay, so to find a number to add here, you're going to use is half of b. What is b here? B represents a number in front of x, or the coefficient of x squared. And the coefficient of x. Here, the coefficient of x is -8. So you want to take b, which is represent the coefficient of x, okay, which is -8, and you want to take half of it and you want to square it. Okay, so let's continue. So I'm going to plug in b, which is -8 right here. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, -8, 2 goes into 8 how many times? Okay, 4 times. And the negative divided by positive is going to be a negative. So now remember, you're supposed to square -4. Okay, so what is -4 squared? So it's not going to be a -8. Okay, so the base, you don't do -4 times 2. No, 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 no. The exponent tells us how many times the base needs to be multiplied by itself. So because the exponent is 2, so -4 squared is going to mean that you have to take the base and multiply by itself twice, like that. Okay, negative times a negative is going to be a positive, and 4 times 4 is going to be 16. So the answer to negative squared is positive 16. So whatever number, if you take a negative and you square it, it always come out positive. Okay, so then I end up with x squared minus 8x and then positive 16. So now we created our perfect square trinomial. So now you can write it as a square. So now how do we find out the term, the perfect square? Okay, the trick is you want to start first with x, not x squared, because you want to take x and square it, so you end up with x squared. Okay, so now what do we write after? So what you want to do here, you're going always to take half of b and divide it by 2. That's the rule, right? You take half of b and divide it by 2. So, and then you square it. So I'm starting with x. So what is half of b? Again, my b here is -8. What is half of -8? It's going to be -4, right? So you basically take plus -8 divided by 2, everything squared. So now you have this combination of plus and negative, so it's just going to be just -4, everything squared. And the final answer is going to be x minus 4, everything squared. And that's your final work. Okay, so now let's do for another example, example 2. What is x squared plus 10x okay, so how would you complete the square? Maybe I should have just, yes. So pause the video and find out the number to add to x squared plus 10x to complete the square, to write it as a perfect square with exponent of 2. Okay, welcome back. So remember, b here is 10, the coefficient of x is 10. So you want to take positive 10 and you want to use half of it. What is half of positive 10? Is going to be positive 5, and you square it, you get 25. Now to write it as a square, x with exponent of 2. So we start with the x, and then you want to take half of b. What is b? b is positive 10, you divide by 2, you end up with positive 5. So that's where you get x plus 5 squared. Okay, so let's do a third example. Okay, so I need you to find the constant, the new constants we need to add to complete the square, to this trinomial. okay, to this quadratic expression, what number would you add to x squared plus x, okay, in order to have it, to complete it as a square? Okay, so please pause the video and do it. Okay, so for the third example, again, what is the coefficient of x? I don't see any number in front of x. Does it mean it's 0? No, 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 no. It just means it's 1. You can see 1x. So the coefficient of x is 1. So when you multiply a term by 1, you just drop the 1. As mathematician, you don't write the 1. Okay, that's why it's just x here. So now I rewrote the expression so you can see the b, which is 1. So again, to find a number to add to x squared plus x, you're going to add. So basically, you take b, which is here positive 1, sorry, and then b is positive 1, and you take half of it. So it's 1/2, and you square it. Now, alert, alert, alert. Do not turn 1/2 as a decimal. Please leave it as a fraction, okay? And then what is 1/2 squared? Again, the exponent tell us how many times the base needs to be multiplied by itself. So I'm going to take 1/2 and multiply by itself again 1/2 twice, because the exponent is 2. It's 2 times. So multiply by itself 2 times. So now I can multiply then, of course. 1 times 1 is 1, and 2 times 2 is 4. So 1/4. That's why I was able to get 1/4 right here as a new c, the constant. So now, how do we write it as a squared? So again, you start with the x inside the factor, inside the square. Then you want to take half of b. So b is positive 1, so I would, and then you take half of it with. So you leave it as plus 1/2. Okay? Okay, so I would like you to do the fourth one. So can you find the number to add to x squared minus 3x? So you can get a perfect square trinomial and write it as a perfect square. Okay, please pause the video and do it. Okay, so here's my final answer. Okay, so b here is -3, so you take -3, you divide by 2. Again, you write it, leave it as a fraction. So what is -3 over 2 everything squared? So the exponent of 2 tells us how many times the base needs to be multiplied by itself. So because the exponent is 2, I need to multiply the base by itself twice. So um, so negative times the negative is going to be a positive. 3 times 3 is 9. 2 times 2 is 4. So that's why I wrote plus 9/4 here. And now to write it as a square, you start with the x, okay? And then you want to take half of b. B is now -3. So you take -3 and divide by 2. You use x minus 3/2 squared. That's it. Okay. So I could also just give you a b, but it's a fraction. Okay. And let me show you an example where b is a fraction. Okay, so the next example is x squared plus 3/5, 3/5 of x. So what number do I need to add to this quadratic expression to write it as a square? Okay, please pause the video and try to do it on your own. Okay, so the way I found um, the number to add here, so I took 3/5, okay, and I divided by 2. Okay, so when you divide a fraction, what do we do? So you want to keep the first fraction, which is 3/5, okay? And you're going to flip the second fraction, this one here. So we want to take the reciprocal of 2/1, which is 1/2. And then you multiply across. 3 times 1 is 3, 5 times 2 is 10, okay? That's why I wrote 3/10 and you square it. And to find a number for the square, you start with the x, and again, you want to take half of b, which is 3/5 divided by 2, which simplifies to 3/10. Okay, and then 3/10 squared simplified to 9/100. Okay. Thank you for watching my video. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.